This is an excerpt from the novel Shooting Kabul by N.H. Sunzai. This is a story about a boy named Fadi and his family who live in Afghanistan during the dangerous time of the Taliban occupation. Follow along in the text as you listen. After the recording, you will analyze the memory moment. The eerie stillness was broken by muffled coughing as Zafuna covered her mouth with a handkerchief. Before she could tuck it away, Fadi saw a trace of blood on the snowy white cloth. She is getting worse, he thought, worry creasing his forehead. He glanced at his father, who gave him an encouraging wink and gently squeezed his shoulder. Fadi smiled in return, but he could see the fear lingering in his father's eyes, fear coupled with determination. As a Pakhtun, his father was bound by the ancient secret code of Pakhtuwali to protect his Namus, the women of his family, with his life. With a shiver, Fadi recalled the moment, nearly 6 months before, when his father had revealed his plan. It was a blustery day in January as the family sat together at breakfast, trying to keep warm under layers of clothing. Fadi's mother set down a plate of old bread she'd reheated, along with chunks of white cheese, a rare treat. "I have something I need to tell you," said Habib. Fadi glanced away from the accumulating snow with a frown. His father didn't sound like himself. "The situation has become too dangerous for us here," said Habib. There were deep circles under his eyes, as if he hadn't slept for many nights. Situation. That's an understatement, thought Fadi as he resumed stirring his milk. Over the past year, things had gotten more and more frightening. Even going out for bread could get you in all sorts of trouble. "And so it's set. We are leaving," announced Habib, looking around the table. "Leaving?" Fadi mumbled, blinking slowly like a confused owl. "What?" said Noor, as her fork dropped with a loud clang. Zafuna sat calmly. It was as if she had been expecting the news. "Father, what do you mean we're leaving?" asked Noor. Even Miriam, who'd been busy scraping out the last of the honey from a metal tin, paused to stare at her father. "Why are we leaving?" she asked, her brows knitted in confusion. "Your mother needs better medical care," said Habib. Fadi glanced at his mother's pale face. She sat shivering, cold despite wearing two sweaters, one of Habib's old coats, and a shawl. She'd caught a cold at the beginning of winter, and it had gotten worse. The few doctors left in Kabul didn't have the right equipment to diagnose what was ailing her, or the right medication to make her better. She'd taken a turn for the worse the week before, when they'd buried her mother, Fadi's grandmother, in the cold, hard ground next to her husband. "It's because of them, isn't it?" said Miriam, her eyes wise beyond her 6 years. They all knew who she meant. Them, the Taliban. "Yes, John," Habib sighed, reaching across the table to ruffle Miriam's fine, reddish-brown hair. "The Taliban have made it very difficult for us here." Zafuna cradled her steaming cup in her hands. "It had to come to this," she murmured, muffling a cough. Stop the video at this point and fill out the memory moment chart on your worksheet.